you suffer from pimples, acne, disgusting skin? And do you feel ashamed to walk out in public and approach women or even just be yourself because you fear that your skin looks disgusting? Well, today I'm going to tell you 5 strategies that you can implement today to ensure that you will never have acne or pimples ever again. I want to tell you a story. I love chocolate, let me be honest with you. And although I proclaim to be a disciplined man who trains every single day, 3 days ago, my mom came into my room and said, Amazon delivered something for you. I said, sure, that's interesting. Amazon? And she said, yes, yeah, here's a chocolate. And it was a big fat bag of chocolates. 10 golden, delicious chocolates in a fantastic little bag, each one with its own wrapper. I thought, wow, it's like Christmas. This is unbelievable. I opened the chocolates, had a first one. Wow, amazing. Second one, third, By the time I got to the 5th chocolate, I thought, I've had kind of enough. But it's like gym, you've got to keep on pushing even when you've had enough. So I kept on pushing. And I went through the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. Then I thought, this is actually kind of interesting. It's a good test. Let me film it. Turn on this camera that you're watching this video right now on. And I started filming myself having 9 and the 10th chocolate. Ugh, disgusting. And so, after that I went to the community center and met a good friend of mine who also likes gym. And I said to him, listen bro, you're not going to believe what I just did. I proclaim I have discipline and, I gym every night, blah, blah, blah. He says, yeah, what happened? I said, I just ate 10 chocolates. He said, yes, you must feel nauseous. I said, you don't understand, I feel terrible, I feel sick. He said, how many calories was it? I said, well, I looked at the back of the chocolate box, and each chocolate was 400 calories. I had 10 of them. He says, yo, that's 4,000 calories. He said, how long did it take you? I said, it took me 5 minutes. He said, yes, man, you must be feeling nauseous and sick. And to that, I said, yeah. Now, I enjoyed my time there because there's a gym at the center and I'm enjoying my time there. Then I realized I feel terrible, not just about myself inside, in terms of eating the chocolates, but I feel ashamed of myself. That I claim to be this gym fanatic, but I can't even have the discipline to eat the correct food. And I said to myself, I am going to run on the field right now, stripped down all my clothes, took them all off in my underpants, and I said to myself, this field, 2 of the long ways are each 100 meters, and going this way and that way is 50. So together it would be 300 meters, and I said that means I need to run around 34, 35 times. And honest to goodness, I took off my underpants and I ran around the field. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, each time I went around took me between 2 and 4 minutes. So you can imagine it was between an hour and 2 hours of running. Long time running. And then I was also hydrating and making sure I went to the toilet, eating enough food, or not food, but remaining hydrated. And so at the end of that, after eating the chocolates and exercising, I had sweated out a lot of the poison inside the chocolate, and I'd been hydrating, which helped me. So that leads me on to the first 2 lessons out of the 5 that I'm going to show you that you can implement to make sure that you get rid of acne. The first lesson is avoid chocolates. You know what? Avoid any and all sugar. Do you like having tea and coffee? Well, I suggest that you stop having tea with milk. Oh, sorry, not with milk, but tea with sugar. And having sugar in terms of poison that you find in chocolates. That's the first point. The second point is, in order to get rid of the toxins, because it's the toxins and the poisons which are making your skin look disgusting and acne-filled and pimpled, which are red signaling stay away. The second lesson is that you need to make sure that you sweat. Every day I train, and I told you I ran around the field 35 times. I didn't just do it to burn off the calories. No, I didn't feel fat that I needed to burn off burn off all the weight. No, I did it so that I would sweat out all the poisons. So now we understand, avoid the poison in the first place, and if you have consumed sugar, you've got to sweat it out. That leads me on to the third point. You need to make sure you are adequately hydrated. Because yes, it's great, you're going to start sweating, but what if you have no water in your system? Well, that's very dangerous. So you've got to hydrate, and so that's what I was doing. I had 2 bottles of water before I trained, 1 during and 2 after. And so throughout that whole process, I was getting rid of all the poisons. You've got to hydrate. That leads me on to the 4th way that you can get rid of acne. For gym, there's a whole thing that you bulk up. And so I've always felt skinny and small, and I've tried my best to bulk up. A friend of mine said, try this protein powder, and you put it in a smoothie, you put blueberries and milk, and it's nice. I said, that's a great idea. Started having 2 of these protein shakes a day, each probably 200-300 calories. But what I did is I made one of the worst mistakes you'll ever make, and I want you to learn from me. Number 4, I put so much milk. Every day I was consuming about 1 liter of milk every single day. 1 liter of milk. And what I did was, I realized having so much of that, milk and dairy products in my protein shake was ruining my skin. And it's only now that I've cut out the protein shakes and cut out the milk. Number 4, avoid milk and all dairy products at all costs, because that will ruin your skin. And I was speaking to a sports psychologist now, a sports scientist, apologies. And I said, but if I'm not going to have milk, dairy products, what am I going to be able to do to get the calcium so my bones don't wither away and so I don't just die at the age of 17, 18? She said, if you have spinach and any vegetable that is green, you will make sure that you have adequate calcium in your system. And so that brings me on to the 5th way that you can avoid getting acne. When I was younger and going through school, I never used to have acne. I actually never used to have acne. It was only now that I'm getting older that I've realized I've gotten acne. And I tried everything. I told you, I cut out milk, I cut out protein shakes, I cut out poison, I hydrated, I did everything I needed to do, but I still couldn't get a result with clearing up my skin. And so, even if you're hydrating and you exercise, as I said, doing all the things, and you eat perfectly, you may still have acne. As I said, when I was younger, I didn't have any acne. No pimples, nothing. It's only now 16, 17, 18. And so I've tried everything. In fact, this is number 5. I even put soap on my face. Hard soap on my face and on my neck, doing everything and getting desperate to get rid of the acne and pimples which so plagued me as a kid, or now. And so the lesson number 5 is don't use soap on your face. And I'll tell you one step further, just because you already made it to the side of the video. If you're using soap on your face, good for you. But if you're using scented soap, now how do you tell if your soap's scented? I want you to smell it. And if you smell an intense smell of lavender, charcoal, rose petals, strawberries, whatever it is, then you must get rid of that soap immediately. Because that soap has different chemicals inside of it that aren't just being used to cleanse your skin. They are being used to give it that smell and that scent. And that's just going to make your skin nuclear and become 15 billion times worse. So I have a question for you. Now that you understand everything you need to do, let me give you a summary. We said you need to hydrate, you need to cut out the poison, you need to work or exercise till the point where you sweat. Then we said you mustn't use soap on your skin. And there was a 5th point. The 5th point was obviously don't use soap on your skin. But the 5th point, or I'm going to call it 5.1. 5.1 is don't use soap. 5.2 is, there's a disclaimer here. Even if you've tried everything here, and you're between the ages of 16 and 20, let's just say, because you have so much natural testosterone, your body is going to be secreting all these hormones at all times. And so the only thing that you can do to solve the problem is this last point. Nothing else works, do this. You try everything, but nothing else works. You have to use a tea tree oil or a balm. You put on your neck and you wash it off in the shower. That's exactly how you can get rid of pimples and acne today. The easy way.